All right, hey everybody, let's get caught up with Bitcoin. I think still on the macro, things are looking good. Nothing's giving signs of a complete reversal or signs that the top may be in, right? So for now, I would say we stay focused on the macro count, stay focused on the fact that we haven't seen a possible wave 5 of 5 come in yet, and that's coming from our macro count here. Wave 1 into wave 2, a wave 3 that didn't hit our 1.618. And because of that, leans probability towards the wave 5 being the extended leg and the impulse to the upside, right? Because you have to remember that an Elliott wave, one of the three impulsive waves to the upside, meaning either 1, 3, or 5, will be an extended leg. So since 1 and 3 weren't, it gives probability to the fifth being an extended leg, okay? So whenever we pull the targets for that, we're going to go from 0 to 3 to 4, just so we could get those minimum extension targets for a wave 5. And that comes around the 618 typically. And you'll notice that we kind of have some confluence here with some lower time frame targets that we'll zoom in on and take a peek at. But you'll start to see a confluence of resistances here around that 120 to 129 range. That 618 is the target that we typically talk about for an extension that a fifth wave could hit, right? We also, because the third wave wasn't extended, have to be open to an extended fifth wave. So this wave 5 of wave 5 could actually give quite a strong push getting it to this 150 range to even 160s. But we'll go into lower time frames and take a peek. So let's zoom into the daily here and talk about a couple options. So if this was the reversal point here of the lower time frame, and it starts off in a wave 1, an expanded flat in 2, comes up and makes a 3, and we're now making its wave 4. If that same degree wave 4 and 2 are going to have any sort of alternation, well, this wave 2 was an expanded flat, right? So that means that A came down, B took its highs of the high of the wave 1, and then C swept the lows of the possible A, right? So let's pop that on there just to help you see it a little better. If that's true, then we look for the rule of alternation. So we look for the correction in the wave 4 to be slightly different, right? And if that's going to be, then maybe this wave 4 might pull a running flat, or even a WXY like we're picturing here, right? So with the W being a simple zigzag here and the X being a simple zigzag, it leaves us open for the Y to be a flat or a triangle. There's a potential for the Y to be done here in a triangle. We'll zoom into the 8 hour and take a peek at that. And that would be the Y leg ending in a triangle, right? It's a long shot, but it's something that we might have to be open to just in case. Would be the fact that this could be a W, all of this is X, and then we talk about a Y coming down in a triangle that's really contracting in on itself. If this is to be, we could be talking about a pivot here, and lower time frames on the hourly would start to show those reversal signs, right? So if on an hourly you're sitting around like a degen at the desk enjoying yourself and you see this start to make a 5-wave shape, well then, right, we're going to start targeting these 3-wave pullbacks with a nice easy invalidation point, and we're going to look for take profits after, okay? For now, we can't say the low is in, right? Because we can't see this on let's say an hourly. So let's stay patient just in case. So if the WXY doesn't work out, then we'll have to be prepared. Sorry for my dog's big shaggy ears flopping around. Then we'll have to be prepared that this could come down a little bit deeper, okay? So let's clean up some of this jazz. And in that case, we could be talking about this actually becoming an A, a B, and then coming down in a much steeper C leg, okay? So let's adjust our extensions here to this count. Let's go to the low of A, to the high of B. Get this a little closer, I apologize. And our most typical thing is an expanded flat, meaning we take the lows of A, meaning C would easily take the lows of A, right? So our first target would be then 85. since it's an expanded flat, we really want to be open to it going deeper, right? Going deeper than a typical flat target. The typical flat target for that C leg would be 1 through 1.382 of that extension pull from 0 to A to B. And that would give your C leg that typical corrective pocket 1 through 1.382 target zone. But an expanded flat, we got to be open to coming down to 79K, okay? That's if we lose that WXY scenario. I would say we're looking for this. You should also take note that not only do we have reasons to believe it could go there, you also had your CME gap there too, right? So the count is a little shaky at this point, but essentially we would be looking for a wave 3, 4, and then a 5, and an ending diagonal possibly here in the wave C. And that would be the wave 4 before we go ahead and make a wave 5. So really, you know, locally we're talking about, hey, there's some downside here, and there could be some local corrective things going on. But the macro doesn't suggest that we should be running for the hills or we should be terrified. And I think that we should stay logical and find some grounding in our convictions and confidence and strategies, and trust that, you know, Bitcoin is just correcting and this is just, you know, a temporary thing. So, all right, let's talk about targets for this wave 5. So if locally we think we're waiting for the wave 5 of the wave 5, we would pull an extension from the 0 to the 3 to the current low of the wave 4 that we're talking about in the WXY scenario, let's say, right? Let me put that back on just so we have it. WX, and this would be Y in a triangle. This is with the low already being in, right? We would talk about that wave 5 of 5 targets coming in for that 0.618. We've seen many instances where this has kind of fell short, started to see some resistances around the 382, right? So risk to reward, if Bitcoin's going to start topping in this area, maybe a good area to start trimming the fat, DCAing out just like we DCA in. So if you're in spot, you're going to start to trim back some of that position and look to exit. But overall, I think things still look great for Bitcoin, still look bullish. Things are resetting really well on the RSI. Barely any price action to the downside with really good resets on the RSI. So I would stay mellow and stay convicted in your plans, and let's let some more of this shake out. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and thank you for your time. Goodbye.